Hola a todos, soy Carla Herrera para UnderTheCocoTree, que puedes encontrar en Iconos Magazine. Hoy tengo dos invitadas especiales, Katherine Zepeda y Kim Zaun. Han venido desde muy lejos de New Jersey, justo abajito de Nueva York, para venir a contar un testimonio y una historia importantísima de comunicar, que yo creo que puede ayudar a tantísimas personas. Kim viene a contar un testimonio real. Ella perdió a su hijo, que se quitó la vida, y era un deportista de muchísimo éxito, se llamaba Eric Zaun, y se quitó la vida. Ella nos va a contar cuándo, si fueron cosas que ella pudo ver venir, si fue algo que la pilló inesperadamente. Hoy por hoy trabaja como trabajadora social, trabaja con un montón de niños que sufren y padecen de depresión, pero vamos a ir entendiendo un poquito más qué nos tiene que contar ella. So, Kim, I was just saying that, giving an introduction, saying that you've come to give a testimony that you think is a very important message that has to be given, right, to victims maybe of having a loss, such as losing somebody so important to you in your family. It may be your son, maybe your mother. In your case, it was your son. It was Eric Zaun. He was a super successful volleyball player.
Yes.
So when did this happen?
So he took his life on June 11th of this year, and we really weren't aware that he was suffering from depression. And we had seen him for a tournament in maybe 3 weeks earlier in Texas. We flew down and he had a very good tournament. He was as happy as ever. And he was a kid who was just full of life generally. He lived a big life. He traveled throughout the world playing volleyball, and he loved his life. He had this big, amazing life, and he was this fun, energetic, bigger than life kid. And we never saw this coming, never. And I don't know what happened still. I can't explain it. He went down so fast, and we never could have expected this. So when I say it came out of the blue, that's the best way to explain it, because we didn't see signs, we didn't see traditional symptoms that you would see. We didn't have a lot of warning. So it was a shock to our family, of course, and to his friends, and to people he played volleyball with, to his community. It was a very, very big shock.
Está diciendo que esto pasó más o menos en junio 11 de este año pasado, que fue un shock absoluto, que les pilló completamente desprevenidos a toda la familia, a todos los amigos. Ella no se lo podía haber imaginado nunca. Ella vive en Nueva Jersey y él vivía en California, y habían estado 4 meses antes en un torneo en Texas, en el que le vieron lleno de vida, disfrutando de la vida como el que más, feliz con sus amigos. O sea, que no era nada que ella se podría haber esperado, jamás. Entonces, ¿cómo darle una explicación a esto, no? Muchas veces uno piensa, oye, pero tenía que haber símbolos o signos antes. También ella vivía lejos, pero le quiero preguntar yo, ¿cuándo, si ella se hizo una social worker antes o después de esto? So you've been a social worker prior to this happening?
Right, so I've been a social worker probably for 30 years, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker in New Jersey, and I work with children who have anxiety and depression, children who have social phobias, and children who have eating disorders, and children who are suicidal, children who go through a wide range of emotions and have behavior issues. So I'm very familiar with kids, younger kids, who experience these types of emotional issues and mental health issues. So this isn't new for me. This is kind of in my backyard.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So that kind of even goes to, like you were saying, what are the signs, what are the symptoms, how as a parent, but as a professional social worker, so this is my job. So that's what you're talking about. What could you have missed? How could you have done this differently? What were the signs or symptoms that may have been there that you overlooked? You go through that, not only as a parent, but as a, in my job, that's what you would do. You would assess. You're constantly assessing for safety. You're constantly assessing for mental health issues. So it's very important to recognize, and I'm saying that as a mother, and I'm saying that as a licensed clinical social worker. I did not see any signs or symptoms that would give me a red flag at that point to say that Eric was in trouble.
Bueno, nos está diciendo eso mismo, ¿no? Que ella jamás vio ningún tipo de señal, ni de síntoma, ni de nada. Y es lo que dice ella, esto es su trabajo de día a día. Lleva 30 años trabajando como trabajadora social. Sí con niños más jóvenes, me ha mencionado, ahora le preguntaré qué edades, pero que tienen todo tipo de problemas mentales, que padecen todo tipo de fobias, ansiedades. O sea, como dice ella, esto es mi día a día y yo no pude ver y no vi ningún tipo de síntoma, de símbolo, ¿no? ¿Cómo se dice? De pista, que me pudiera haber dicho que Eric estaba en cualquier tipo, en ningún tipo de problema. You say you treat kids that are younger, and Eric was what age?
26, 25. Yeah, he almost 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, around the age of 26 years old, and definitely suicide is something that is coming and happening more and more.
Absolutely.
And you said that this happened in such a short period of time.
Very short.
How do you think that spirals out? How can a person that seems so healthy and fine and happy get to that point? Do you think that maybe he had a depression issue that nobody was aware of?
Yes.
Or do you know how do you now come to reason as opposed?
Okay, so I think that's an excellent question, and I think that's so to the point because I'm going to talk about Eric specifically to answer your question. I think what happened in Eric's case, Eric thought because he was so independent, and he was a really mature kid from the time he was very young, he was able to handle himself in his life, in his world. He made very good decisions, and he went off to South Carolina for college, and then he moved right from there to Florida. He was very young.
And he was very successful.
Yeah.
Always in the volleyball.
Always.
So was that giving him maybe also scholarships and stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. So we lived in New Jersey, and he won a scholarship to South Carolina for college, and then after that he decided to play beach volleyball, and he moved to Florida, and from Florida he said, I really want to play in the big leagues, and to do that you have to move to California. So he moved from Florida to California and got on this, the AVP tour, and did well. So for him, what I think happened is Eric was so capable and confident, and if he had a challenge or there was adversity, and that's what he would say, bring me the adversity, bring it, because I want to overcome it. And he did. He made decisions very young in his life, and he overcame so much. He worked so hard. He's like his father, one of the hardest workers in the world, and that's how he became so successful. And that was his mantra. You know what? I'll outwork everyone. I'll work harder. I'll make it happen. And he did. And I think what happened with the depression, I think that he felt about depression like he did everything else in his life, which was, I'll handle it. I can do this. I can conquer this. And I think he didn't realize that this depression was bigger than him. It was so big, and I think he felt like it was important for him to handle it on his own like he had the rest of his life from the time he was very young, because he was this confident, energetic, so capable kind of kid, and I think he didn't realize that it was way bigger than him, and he wasn't able without the help, and that's the message. You have to go for help, and there's no shame in that. That's such a sign of strength when you recognize you need help, because everyone needs help. At some point in your life, everyone needs help. And I don't think he saw that. He just didn't see it coming. And then I think when we talk about clinical depression, how it affects your brain, the chemical, right. So there's a lot of things biologically, biochemically that's happening. And unless you kind of get that, and you understand that you definitely need help, whether that's therapy, whether that's medication, there's a lot of different treatments for depression. But until you recognize I'm in trouble, none of it matters.
Right.
Because you don't see it when you think, I can handle this, and I'm able to do this. And that's really, I think, the piece that we didn't see coming, but I think more importantly, Eric didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because had he, I'm sure he would have recognized the need to go and to get help and seek therapy. And it wasn't new to him because he grew up in a household where we talked about mental health issues. We talked about kids who were struggling, anyone who's struggling, and the need, that's what I do, you find people to help you. And they're out there. That's the good news, they're out there, it's the blessing. And he just did not, in a very short time, he did not see that.
Bueno, lo que me está diciendo es que básicamente era un niño que tenía una independencia, una corta edad, se volvió muy independiente, era una persona que pudo hacer cosas que muchos soñamos, ¿no? Fue a la universidad, estudió fuera, tenía una independencia brutal, era exitoso en todo y era arrollador. Trabajaba, se parecía a su padre en ese sentido, dice ella. Era arrollador en el sentido que si se ponía una meta, la lograba. Si tenía que ser el mejor del cole, era el mejor de todos los deportistas y se esforzaba a morir hasta que llegaba a conseguirlo, ¿no? Entonces, claro, cuando uno se pone metas tan altas, muchas veces el proceso de llegar a ello puede ser duro. Lo que dice ella es que él probablemente sí padeció de depresión muchísimo tiempo y que luego podía ir, como quien dice, paliando o manejando, y que llegó un día en el que fue tan grande que fue mucho más grande que él y no supo pedir ayuda. Irónicamente, viniendo en una casa en la que se hablaba de temas de salud mental a diario, que era algo que se trataba, su madre trabajaba en eso, o sea que bien podía haber dicho, o sea, pido ayuda. Y dice la madre que cree que realmente él no llegó a ese momento de darse cuenta de que lo importante era pedirlo. So my question to you now is, what do you think, y le voy a preguntar, ¿qué señales podía haber tenido una persona? O sea, si yo empiezo a sentir esto y esto, debo de pedir ayuda. So what are the things that if suddenly I start to feel I should look for help? What do you think could be triggers that we could tell people? Like if you're feeling this or that, obviously if you don't want to wake up in the morning, I assume, right?
Right. So that's one of the biggest signs, and we just would call that isolation. That's where somebody would have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. That's where they might not show up for their job or for school, where they're so overwhelmed by their everyday life that they go into that depression, which just means they'll stay in bed all day and they'll stop eating and they'll stop communicating with family and friends. So they kind of regress. They just go kind of back into, they just want to pull the covers up over their head every day. So you might look for that. So that's like the biggest sign that we would look for, isolation. And then the second certainly would be if you see any types of substance use, which is very prevalent with someone who's, because you self-medicate. So if you drink or you use drugs, sometimes that can help you feel better temporarily. So that certainly can be a sign. And I think, any type of situation that looks or feels different if you're a parent or a family member of someone suffering. So if they don't act like themselves, if they don't seem happy, and not everyone is happy every day, but you have a sense of how someone is doing. So you're looking for whether or not they seem to be doing overall well. But the main signs would be for us if they stop eating, they stop sleeping, because sometimes it can be a lot of sleep or no sleep, where people just are manic, so to speak, where they're up all the time and they're going and going. So those are probably the biggest signs. But really talking to family members and talking to someone who you might think might be experiencing depression or not even depression, but having some type of mental health issue. Asking them, how are you feeling, and asking them for an honest conversation about how they're doing. That's so important.
Bueno, me está diciendo que evidentemente muchos de los triggers, ¿no? De las cosas que puedes notar que pueden estar diciendo aquí hay algo que está pasando, es definitivamente si la persona a lo mejor no se quiere salir de la cama, no quiere, o que duerma mucho, o sea, para un lado o para el otro, ¿no? Que de repente cambien un poquito en la actitud, que tú lo puedas sentir en tu día a día, que hay algo diferente, que estén actuando diferente de alguna manera, ¿no? ¿Qué más me ha dicho? ¿Alguna más?
También te he dicho de que hay personas que pueden dormir mucho y hay personas que pueden no dormir, y son signos que nosotros podemos como familiares también notarlo. Y bueno, yo estoy aquí porque yo he sufrido de depresión y es algo que tal vez lo he mantenido, como dices, cuando padecemos de depresión nos convertimos en mentirosos. Mentimos y mentimos y mentimos que estamos bien, todo está bien, todo está bien. Y digo, yo manejé mi depresión por muchos años. Cuando pasó lo de Eric fue donde yo dije, ok, tengo que pedir ayuda y tengo que darme cuenta de que esto no es algo de yo sentirme avergonzada, porque muchas veces vivimos en esta cultura donde pensamos que si decimos que nos sentimos mal es porque somos débiles, porque tienes que sentirte bien, porque tienes que hacer esto, que tienes que hacer lo otro. Y no importa los títulos que tú tengas, no importa si terminaste una carrera, no importa la posición económica que tú tengas, esto le puede pasar a cualquier persona, porque siempre me decían a mí, pero tú lo tienes todo, ¿por qué no te sientes bien? Lo tienes todo, pero esa es depresión, tenerlo todo y aún así sentirte que te falta todo, de sentirte vacío.
Y el vacío tiene que ser una cosa horrible. Nos estaba diciendo también Kim que otra de las cosas puede ser cuando esta persona puede padecer y de repente está abusando de algún tipo de sustancia. El alcohol, si de repente empieza a tomarse 2 botellas de vino, 3, 4 al día y dices tú, oye, esto es un poco raro. O drogas, fumar, marihuana, lo que sea. En general, si empiezan a abusar más de una sustancia, puede ser otra manera de darse cuenta que ahí está pasando algo, ¿no? Dice ella que eso es porque muchas veces cuando uno toma las sustancias, tienes un momento ahí de alivio, de sentirte mejor. Y entonces esas personas tienden a empezar a automedicarse para sentirse mejor hasta que se les va de las manos. Quiero hacer una última pregunta antes de terminar de hablar sobre un tema tan fuerte y que podríamos estar hablando tanto tiempo. I want to ask you one last question because this is definitely a subject that we could just talk about. There's so much to say. What about the people that are left? How have you, and working in it your whole life and then happening to you, how does the person that is left behind, how do they deal with it?
Well, I can certainly talk about my experience, and from the very day that we lost Eric, my husband and I really decided that we would not remember his death. We would remember his life because he lived this huge life. He was such a fun kid and he was so full of adventure and he was just this caring, amazing kid. And we said, how are we going to honor him? And it was remembering his life and the relationships he had with people. And he had this amazing ability to connect people to one another. And he loved, and that's why I'm here in Honduras with Kathy, because that's what we were thinking about. What could we do at the holidays? And he loved traveled the world. And he loved Christmas, and he loved children. So those were 3 things that I kind of took into my heart, and I said, you know, how are we going to do this? And thankfully, Kathy said, let's go to Honduras, and we'll hand out toys, and we'll talk to children in Honduras, and we'll try to help those people. And I said, you know, that's a perfect idea because you really have to incorporate that person that you've lost. You have to remember and honor them for what they loved and what they did. And for us, and for me and my husband and my son Brian, we feel like honoring Eric's memory through what he loved, which again is the travel and the holidays and children. That's how you keep them alive. And it's a choice because this is very, very hard. Even being here is very, very hard. But that is the strength that you give yourself. You say, you know what, Eric would want me to do this. And the most important thing is getting out there and living your life in spite of everything. You still have to carry on. And you can, the beautiful message is, this is a choice you make. A choice you make, honoring that person by doing good. And that is something that I think everyone can bring into their heart, and they can remember their loved one in that way. And it's special for every person. Yet at the same time, you have to take that grief and you have to turn it into something.
Yeah.
Something beautiful. And that's through the memory of that person, but it's through really doing good and really asking God, what is it am I supposed to do? Show me how I can help. What is it? What's the message? And for me, the message is saying, you know, if you feel you need help, getting my message as a therapist out there, getting my message as a mother out there, if you know someone or you yourself are suffering, getting help is the strongest thing you can do. And there's that stigma around mental health, right?
Yeah.
People feel weak if they ask for help. And it's just the opposite. The more you ask for help, the stronger you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think using that message, but the thing is too, as a survivor, you have to remember you're still here and life is so special and such a gift. You have to take every day and try to honor that person, whatever that looks like. I don't know for everyone. For me, it really looks like helping children through Eric.
Bueno, me está diciendo que claro, es una elección, ¿no? Al final lo que tú decidas hacer con todo esto que ha pasado, con todo esto que te ha pasado, que de repente te has despertado un día y has perdido una persona tan querida, y en su caso lo que ella ha decidido hacer es honrar la memoria de su hijo a través de las cosas que ella sabe que él disfrutaba más que nada en el mundo, que era viajar. Por eso dice que le surgió este viaje a Honduras y dijeron, ¿por qué no nos vamos a Honduras a seguir transmitiendo este mensaje de empoderar a las personas que veas que están pasando por algo difícil o que creas que puedan estar pasando por algo difícil, o tú mismo si estás pasando por algo difícil, que lo mejor que puedes hacer y donde demuestras que eres fuerte es buscando ayuda. Que muchas veces el estigma, claro, que tiene todo el tema de la salud mental es que eres débil y lo más fuerte que puedes hacer es buscar ayuda. Y ese es el principio de, no te digo la solución a todos tus problemas, pero desde luego que sí es el principio de empezar a solucionar lo que sea que te esté dando esa angustia, ¿no? Dice que Eric disfrutaba un montón con niños y que por eso ya ha decidido que por qué no venían a Honduras, que es una época en la que uno da tantos regalitos, ¿verdad?, a los niños necesitados y que puede hacer tanto bien y marcar una diferencia, que ella le ofreció y dijo, me animo inmediatamente y nos vamos, y nos va a hacer sentirnos muchísimo mejor a las dos. Y sobre todo para ella es día a día decir, no me quiero quedar en esta pena, no quiero parar mi vida, tengo que continuar y seguir adelante. Y es una decisión que ha tomado ella con su esposo y con su otro hijo, Brian, y que todos ellos han decidido seguir para adelante y sobre todo dar este mensaje para que puedan de alguna manera continuar con la memoria de su hijo de una manera positiva y decidir celebrar la vida que tuvo en vez de estar llorando por la muerte tan trágica que vivió. Es mejor tener las buenas memorias y mirar de una manera positiva, y ese es el mensaje que ella te puede dar a ti, que cada persona tiene que ver de qué manera lo saca para afuera, ¿no? Pero que en cualquier caso, si tú eliges sacarlo de una manera positiva, hagas lo que hagas, estará siendo algo positivo en tu vida, porque estábamos hablando de lo difíciles que es para las personas que quedan, ¿no? Y sin embargo dice ella que la vida es algo tan espectacular y tan bello que hay que saber amarlo, ¿no?, y disfrutarlo cada día y segundo de tu vida. Aquí en Honduras, desde luego, bueno, ahora voy a llegar a ese punto. So then, thanking you very much for being here and giving us your testimony. Thanking you. Voy a hacerles una segunda entrevista sobre otro tema muy diferente, así que las vais a volver a ver aquí en UnderTheCocoTree. Quería deciros antes que aquí en Honduras está en San Pedro Sula, San Juan de Dios, una clínica enorme que da ayuda a problemas, a gente o personas que puedan tener algún tipo de problema mental, algún tipo de inquietud, algún tipo de sensación de que hay algo ahí que no funciona, así que no dudéis en ir a buscar ayuda, porque en muchísimos casos San Juan de Dios da ayuda completamente gratuita. Así que os animo a ello. Ha sido un placer teneros hoy aquí a las dos. Soy Carla Herrera para UnderTheCocoTree, que puedes encontrar siempre en Iconos Magazine.